So find your voice. Next, find your key. Of course, we all know this, right? You need to find your key for the song, right? When you are singing in your key, that's when you are most comfortable. You can reach the high notes, you can reach the low notes. You're not hurting your voice, right? It will allow you to use your voice to its maximum ability. And yeah, so next slide. Singing in your key will allow you to use your voice and sing with ease. So practice the songs that you find are easy to sing and in your range. Okay, next slide. So, how do I know? Well, ask yourself, what songs do I usually listen to or enjoy singing along to? Maybe Disney songs. Maybe you like the movie Frozen and you can sing Let It Go.
Wow.
Maybe that's your key. Okay, are these songs difficult to follow? If it's super difficult to follow, maybe it's not your key. But it doesn't mean like you can't try singing it. You just need to find your key for that song. Okay, next slide. So, find your key. Next slide. Of course, these are the typical musical notes, and these are also the keys of the song. Okay, next slide. So there's different vocal ranges, and today, because we don't have like a keyboard, and it's also, I'm not the best at, the keyboard thing. But these are the general names for the different types of vocal range. So this is usually for girls, and that's for guys. So soprano, higher, mezzo-soprano is in between alto and soprano. So I'm an alto. Some other people that are altos are like Adele, and Mariah Carey and Ariana Grande are soprano. Their voice can go super, super high. I have friends at church that are mezzo-soprano, where they can go, their soft spot is key of D. But for me, my soft spot is key of C. So usually all the songs that I sing will usually be key of C. But depending on the song, right, it can change. I could do D or E or A. But yeah, your key, it will sound the best for you. And then same here, right, with the guys. Baritone is, the usual middle, tenor tends to be higher, and bass is the lower. Okay, next. So find your perfect key according to your range. Next. That was the exercise we could have done if we had the keyboard. So next.
Someone used to try that, the finding the...
Yeah, you guys could do it again if you guys want. So you can take a picture of this if you want. This is basically the range for each person. So let's say the top note, the alto, technically I could go higher, but with falsetto, with my head voice. Wow. So you should stop at where you can do chest voice. So you guys know the difference between chest voice and falsetto?
It's like you sing from chest, and then when it's high, you go to the head tone.
Yeah. The head tone is the falsetto. Right. So usually, if you're trying to find your range, don't think about the head tone. Think about how far can I go just with my chest voice.
I see. Get.
Right. Because that's the strongest. Okay. Next slide. Reducing flatness and sharpness. So what is flatness and what is sharpness? When when you sing sharp, like if someone says, "Oh, it's a little sharp," it means the pitch is here and you're up here. Flat is lower, right? The pitch is here and you're singing like right here. It's not the same, maybe the same key, but it's just a different note, right? So when we sing in a lower pitch or flat, this can remove the brightness of the song and make it draggy. So sometimes when maybe you're singing in karaoke or someone's singing karaoke, you're like, the song feels a little like draggy or not very bright. It's because they're probably singing in a lower pitch. They're probably singing flat. Some things that help is when next slide. Next slide again. Oh yeah, this is the flats, and are the sharp. So if you go like this, E flat or C sharp. Anyway, I'm not super good at this because someone else explained it, but that's the general idea. Okay, next. So when we are also aware of the song's meaning, what it means to us, and the emotions the song causes, it can help us stay on pitch and give the song flavor and proper delivery. So like, for example, when Toby led I Adore, he cried, okay, because it really touched his heart. It touched his heart. And so what happened to the song? The song was, even without him thinking about it, it was delivered really well because it meant a lot to him. Yeah, it did. Or it did.
I will let Toby sing more.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I can,
let him cry more.
I can see her cry more.
Okay, next slide.
Wow.
Okay, so one way to reduce, or for example, if you notice you sing flat, what I like to do, and what my mom taught me to do, is you imagine, you know, like karaoke, sometimes in certain karaoke videos, there's a ball, right, bouncing on every syllable.
Yeah.
So imagine that in your mind. So it will help you hit the notes better, right? And it will keep your voice brighter. Instead of saying like monotone, like, you're gonna be like, something like that. So it will help you visualize. So reducing nasal sound. Next slide. Nasal voice. Having a nasally sound means that we are singing more through the nasal cavity. We want to sing with a more open sound and open vowels, okay? Nasal voice is a choice. It doesn't mean your voice is bad or whatever. Like, so, you know, Celine Dion, right? Celine Dion, she uses nasal voice. I think even someone who sings with nasal voice sometimes is Shawn Mendes. And so it's a choice, right? But let's say it's not a choice for you because you have a hard time singing without the nasal voice. Then obviously you can work on it. So next slide. So, well, we don't need to super follow this video because it's kind of longer. So I can just show you guys. So let's all say together, Okay, now you're gonna pinch your nose, both sides. And now you're gonna say, Did the sound change?
Not really.
Not really? Okay, so that means your air is mainly coming out through your mouth. But now let's try to make it sound nasally where your air is trying to come through your nose. That may sound different. And so it's good if you are able to sing without that sound while you're covering your nose. Like, it means you're controlling the air. It's coming through your mouth. But we want to have a balance.
Yes.
Right? So you can, for example, if you notice that, you know, you're sick or something, it's going to be harder. But something that also affects our nasal voice is our posture. So if we're standing straight with our proper posture, then our voice will be more open and less nasally. And also our head posture. When we sing even high notes, we don't want our head to be too high. We want to keep it stable, just like our larynx. Everything should be neutral and relaxed. Yes. Next slide.
How do we say?
Right. So reaching higher notes. Next slide. We can use our head voice, falsetto, or chest voice, natural voice, to reach a higher note. So our natural voice is our chest voice, right? If we're singing falsetto, that's obviously we don't talk in falsetto. Depending on your range, one may be easier than the other. Something that helps you to, I think, stop comparing yourself with others is finding your range. Because maybe I can't reach the same note that Chinda can reach, but that doesn't mean that I'm a bad singer. It means my range is different. But you can train yourself to reach higher notes over time. But it takes a lot of practice, a lot of discipline, which, you know, as singers, I think we should all try to improve. Because just like musicians, they practice. So we should practice as well, right? So yeah, like I said, neutral posture of the head, correct posture. If you're like this, it's going to be harder to sing because you're scrunching in your lungs, right? And we don't want to strain our muscles. So if you're trying to reach a high note, what do? We imagine the yawn. So we keep it neutral, have a more open mouth. Obviously, it doesn't have to look weird, but when we visualize it in our mind, it actually, we can control our larynx as well. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, next slide. So best practices, visualization of string going to top of head. So that way it can remind us for our posture. So imagine there's a string going from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head and your head is open. So for the string to be coming out, to be straight, you have to be also standing straight, right? And that's the kind of head posture we want to have. Not too high or not too low. Same with our larynx, same with everything that I've mentioned before. Next slide. So yeah, any questions?